41 original Alto Handitwin. It's a real good motor for someone who's just starting out and wants to have a dependable old motor that looks and runs like an antique motor. And there's lots of parts around. The motor's shares a lot of common parts, and the Handitwin is one of my favorites because another thing that I really like about these motors is that they have a metal water pump in them, so you can run them out of water for a little while without having to worry about the fact that the impeller is going to burn up like a rubber one would. What we've done here is made sure that we've got a good rich mix, which is half pint to a gallon. On any of these early engines, you want to make sure you use at least half a pint to a gallon. You want to make sure you have a clean fuel system, and we know this engine's fuel system is good. And you want to make sure that this little indicator on the float is up. And on the bottom side of these poppet valve carburetors, there's a little button that you push up to lift the poppet valve. And if that's stuck, the engine's never going to start. It helps if you wear gloves, because sometimes that rope can come around and cut your hand between the...
That's pretty impressive. Went on the first pull after 2 years, huh?
Well, we went through and made sure. Now, one of the problems with this particular engine is that the heat in the garage in Florida has melted these rubber boots that go over the end of the spark plugs. There should be a rubber boot here. If you get your hand too close to that while the motor's running, it'll give you a nice kick. So, something we want to be conscious of on this particular engine. This is a really cool accessory that my son Matthew found down here in Florida at a yard sale. And we figure it probably dates from the 60s or possibly the late 50s. It's called Quick and Easy. You have to mount these brackets. It goes in the oar locks, but what it allows you to do is to take your average 12-foot aluminum rowboat and move it around and down the street to the water. One of the things we've done here is when we went to start it, make sure you open the vent on the fuel tank and the petcock. Watch the needle come up on the float chamber, and make sure the poppet is popping and is clear. And then this particular one, the mixture is pretty sensitive, but if you leave it right about there or straight towards you, you should be all right. So you just wrap the rope around one time and give it a good tug, but you'll always try to remember to hold on to the motor while you're tugging on it so it doesn't go sideways like that. This is a real good running motor, and almost all of these Handitwins are equally good runners. This motor is just pretty much the way we found it. I can't remember exactly where this one came from, but most likely upstate New York or Connecticut, where I used to live. Freshwater only.
What's that handle that you're advancing there?
This is the magneto advance, and that's about the only speed control you have on this motor, is this lever. And all you're doing is advancing and retarding the timing. There's no coordinated fuel control because the motor operates on a poppet valve and at one speed as far as the carburetor is concerned. ahead, it doesn't move. That's about full speed. You want to make sure you have plenty of water pumping, and these little engines are good for it because, as I said, they don't have a rubber water pump.